and welcome back to another game review video. Today we are going to be reviewing a new game I recently started playing called Rocket League. So for today's review, I'm going to be ranking it as per usual out of 1 to 5 stars. And I'm going to give you guys a short description to give you guys a good framework for what the game is about and what the goal of the game is. So let's go ahead and jump right into that initial description. So Rocket League is described as a vehicular soccer video game. It was first released for PlayStation 4 and Windows in July of 2015, with ports for Xbox One and Nintendo Switch being released later on. So it's been around for almost 10 years at this point. It's won several awards for multiplayer games and other things as well. The genres it covers is sports video game, action game, indie game, car racing game, vehicle simulation game, and of course just generalized simulation. Going a bit more in depth with my research than I normally do, I went and found the Rocket League official website where they talk about a few of the key features of the game. So I thought I would read off a little bit of the key features that they mentioned here to you guys. Other than the trailer on their main page, they also have a few different sections talking about the game. One of which is describing some of the music in game, where they got a partnership with Alan Walker to give them a bit of music for the game, and some of it is actually streamer friendly because I went into the settings and turned on the streamer safe music, and some of it that was playing was actually still Alan Walker, which was pretty surprising. I'm used to most of the collaboration songs like in Sims and such not being streamer safe, so I found that really surprising that it was actually still coming through and was safe for streaming. I also thought it was a really nice feature that they had that for streamers, because most games just kind of make you turn off the music, and it does kind of create an awkward atmosphere when sometimes you need the music. They also, of course, have a section talking about the different decals and accessories you can have on your cars, and of course a section talking about the different labels of tournaments that you can have, and then we get into the more in-depth description of the game. So this is what the official website says. It says, "This is Rocket League. Welcome to the high-powered hybrid of arcade-style soccer and vehicular mayhem. Customize your car, hit the field, and compete in one of the most critically acclaimed sports games of all time." So they're currently in season 15 of Rocket League, so I'm not quite sure when their seasons fall. I don't know if it's a yearly thing or every so many months, but considering they're in season 15 and they have been almost around for 10 years now, I would assume they're on some sort of quarterly basis, if I had to guess. They describe season 15 as Rocket League gets a punk rock makeover for the SoCal season 15. Swerve into Salty Fest and put the Z in sports. And then they also have the tier up, reach tier 70 and beyond. Start unlocking items from the pro tiers and get painted versions of select Rocket Pass items. To explain a little about the Rocket Pass, it's basically like the free pass that you get in most games, where you can collect different rewards from the free tree, or you can pay to get the pro tree or exclusive tree that only you get if you pay some money. And then there's also cross-platform progression, so you can share your Rocket League inventory, competitive rank, and Rocket Pass tier on any connected platform, which is honestly pretty cool because most games don't have cross-platform progression, and I find that pretty cool that they do, because most of the time that's pretty hard to implement. I don't know how hard it is necessarily for Rocket League, but I know that most of the time it is pretty hard for the average game. Jumping into my personal review now, though, I want to give you guys just a few outlines for how I'm going to rank this game. So, for one, I'm going to rank the game on the customization features for the car. That won't affect the score a lot, just because there isn't like just a whole ton of customization, obviously, because it is only one vehicle. But I did want to put that in there, so that will count for, I think, up to about 1 star, probably at the highest rank. Some of the other features I'm going to be ranking is the multiplayer feature, because I did play some multiplayer when I was playing over on my Twitch. And the third thing I'm going to be reviewing is the matchmaking system, so I'm going to review a few different things about this probably. So the speed of which I was matchmaked with other opponents, and of course the rank system. because I know how annoying it is in any game, really, to be a fresh newbie and then be getting pitted against people that aren't newbies and are quite good at the game. So I want to make sure that the matchmaking system does adhere to some sort of rank for people. I don't know if it's based off of the level that you're at or how long you've been playing, but I will be judging their matchmaking system on a few different scales. And then the last thing I'm going to be judging it for is just gameplay in general, I think. How easy it is to learn, how fun it is, if it's repetitive, that sort of thing. But with all that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and jump straight into the review. So starting off with customization, I didn't actually show the customizing of my car, but there is quite a lot of customization for your car. You can customize your car for if you're on the blue team or if you're on the orange team. Personally, I liked my blue car a little bit better than my orange one, just because you were allowed to change the color, which I thought was a little bit surprising, but I did love because I was able to get myself a purple car, which I absolutely adored. As you guys know, purple is my favorite color, and if I can customize anything in games to be purple, I will. So I was pretty impressed with the fact that you were able to change a lot of the different colors. I knew you would be able to change the colors of the decals probably, but I was pretty impressed with the fact that you were able to change the color of the main car, especially for the different teams, because it kind of seemed like they would want you to all be like orange if you were on orange team, or all be blue if you were on blue. So I think it's kind of cool that they let you change the different colors, and there did seem to be quite a few options even for a beginner that hadn't unlocked much like me, to be able to customize their car properly, and I really liked the way my car turned out. So for that reason, I'm going to give the customizing portion of the game a full star for that section. The second thing I'm going to review is the multiplayer system. So the multiplayer function of the game, I would say, is pretty darn good. It was pretty easy to friend people and easily add them to my party and switch around who the party leader was. And it was pretty easy to also queue up with a party member and all of the different game types. So I honestly had a blast playing multiplayer, and with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the next section, which is the matchmaking system. So, for the matchmaking system, I was basically just wanting to make sure that it would be matchmaking you quickly and with the correct people for your rank. And I will say that although I did get a few people that I felt like were definitely either smurfing or were a little bit too high for my skill level, I do think that this game was matchmaking you with people that were pretty much your rank. I imagine it was hard for the game to find other newbies to pit me against, but I think they did a pretty good job of getting me in the same rank as people. So I honestly had a lot of fun with that, and the matchmaking actually wasn't as slow as you would think for a game that's been out for 10 years. It does seem like people are still actively playing it, and like there are still a lot of people online and actively members of the Rocket League community. It's not like on StarCraft where you might be queuing for like 5 minutes before you get a game, and I feel like that's pretty nice because a lot of games that are like 10 years old, most people aren't still playing anymore. I feel like the fact that the queuing is still that fast just shows how good of a game Rocket League is, and I also feel like it's pretty cool that the matchmaking is still that quick, because even some recent games isn't that fast, and I really did appreciate how fast I was getting into games. Moving on now to the last section of the review, we are going to be reviewing, of course, the general gameplay. General gameplay wise, I found this game fairly addictive. If I'm being honest, it's not repetitive at all. You would think with the fact that the gameplay is literally just aiming for one singular soccer ball and trying to get goals, that it would get repetitive after a while. But so far, I have played this game for like 6 hours, I think, at this point, and I've honestly had a blast playing it the entire time, even though I was sick at one point while I was playing it. I still had a lot of fun playing it, and I didn't find it repetitive at all. It was honestly really relaxing and chill, and I found that I got a lot of enjoyment from getting those goals, and it kind of reminded me of when I was a kid and I would play soccer with my sister outside. It was giving kind of those vibes, like just like the endless days of summer when you're a kid and you're just kind of like chilling with like a soccer ball. You know, it was actually really relaxing and nostalgic for some reason, and I really, really liked that aspect of it. Which probably did make me a bit biased, you know. The nostalgia was probably feeding into my bias about it, but I do think that it is a really fun game and that it wouldn't really get that repetitive, especially if you played it with friends. I will say that the game does have a bit of a learning curve. Like, definitely tweaking your settings will help you if you can figure out which settings you need to tweak to make your gameplay a little smoother. And then also just practicing a lot, I think, is key to becoming good at the game. I do think there is a bit of a learning curve, and especially if you can get someone that knows a lot about the game, like I did, then you can get a lot of good tips and tricks, or even just watching a YouTube video on like some tips and tricks might help. But I think that definitely the learning curve isn't as steep as it is with some games. Like, I think it's pretty simple to get a good grasp on what you're supposed to do and a good, easy way to do it. I think for me, it's probably medium on the scale of how hard it is to learn. I did just want to give you guys a quick heads up with that. But yeah, that's basically it for the review. So now it's time for the final ranking and thoughts portion. So my final rating of the game is 5 out of 5 stars. As you probably guessed, I think this game is super fun, and especially if you like any sort of simulation game similar to this, I think you would like this game. It's like a relaxing younger sibling of a shooter, honestly. It gave me like kind of like Apex vibes, but like relaxing, if that makes sense. Like, Apex can sometimes get really stressful, and I felt like this game kind of gives the same energy as Apex, but it's a lot more relaxing, and I feel like the chances of you getting stressed out over it are a lot slimmer. But yeah, I would say it's a 5 out of 5 for me at least, and in general, I would say it's probably a 4.5 out of 5. I do feel like there are some people that would play it and be like, okay, this is fun for right now, but like maybe not all the time. So final thoughts are just, this game is super fun. It is addictive. I love playing it. I really, really love playing multiplayer in it. I think that playing it with friends would honestly be so fun. I am planning a game night already to play it with my community. So if you guys aren't following me over on Twitch already, you need to be doing that. And if you guys want to join the community game night, then you need to join my Discord, which will be in the link down below in the description box. But yeah, that is about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you haven't already, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And like I said, don't forget to go follow me over on Twitch. That way you guys can watch when I live stream these reviews for the first time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!